Morning folks, I'm Dave Canterbury with Self-Reliance Outfitters in the Pathfinder School, back with another video in our series, Gear of the 20th Century Woodsman. Today we're going to talk about the C.A. Myers stitching awl. And this is not one of those romantic pieces of gear like a knife or an axe or a lantern or a stove or something that you would think about as being a piece of camp kit necessarily. But your ability to be able to repair your gear on the fly or manufacture a piece of kit if needed was something that made it very convenient. And if you had a tool that was designed for that purpose that would make it even faster, then you really had something. And there's a couple different stitch awls on the market that came to market early in the 20th century. One is the Stewart stitch awl and the other one is the C.A. Myers. And according to the websites, the Myers stitch awl was patented in 1903. And according to the website, the Stewart was patented in 1909. Now, when I did a patent search before I did this video, the only patent I could find for the Myers stitch awl, which is this one, was from 1936. However, I did see drawings of a stitch awl that was exactly like this from Myers, but it also had an attachment you could plug into the chuck on the front that was basically a stitch marking device, like a wheel with teeth on it, like you see leather workers use today, that would mark all the stitching points on the leather. And it plugged into the front of the chuck. Now, I didn't see that on the 1936 patent. So he may have come up with the idea in 1903 and just not patented anything until 1936 when he came out with this device. I don't know, to tell you the truth, but both of them are good tools. I'm going to do a video separately on the Stewart stitch awl, hopefully from their factory in southern Indiana if I get the chance. So today, let's talk about the C.A. Myers stitch awl, its components, and how it's used. Stay with me.
Hey, I'm living good back in the woods.
Okay, so here are the main components of this stitch awl. You had a metal bobbin here with wax thread on it. You had a chuck. You had two needles, one curved and one straight, a multi-tool, and a screw to hold the bobbin on. And all of that was stored back here. That wasn't placed onto the tool while it was in use. So what you would do is you would take this bobbin first of all, and you would feed your thread up through the center here, just like this. And this is probably a little fiddly the first time around, especially if you got fat fingers like I do. And there's a channel on both sides there for that to ride in. Now, once you had that threaded through, you would basically slide your bobbin back in, run your set screw through there, line it up on the other side, and then tighten it down with that provided tool. Just like that. And now you've got a free wheeling spindle there with your cord coming out from inside the awl, okay? Now what you would do is you would take and you would thread your needle that you're going to use. And you got a channel on this needle that the string travels through. So you have to thread it from the channeled side like this so that that string lays inside that channel here, so that once it's put down inside of the awl itself, those two channels will line up and it will allow that string to continuously feed through there. Then you would put your chuck back on, pull your thread out, make sure everything's feeding right before you tighten it down, and then go in with your chucking tool and give it a good twist to crank it down, and then it should pull straight out just like that, okay? Now your awl is ready to be used. And again, all of the components for the awl store right in the back side of it, just like this, when they're not in use. Now, let's talk about how to use this awl. So one of the beauties of this all is that you can repair gear that may be damaged. And this is a knife sheath that all the stitching has come out of. It's an old Canadian belt knife sheath. And you're going to punch it through the first hole, and then you're going to pull enough string through that you can complete your project on this side, because this is going to be your locking string. And then you're just going to come in here with your awl, and you can kind of gather things back up a little bit here to get a little closer to your work, just like that. You're going to feed into a hole, and when you pull the needle back a little bit, you're going to open up a loop there. And that loop is what you're going to feed that tag in through, so that when you pull this back out like this, it creates a locking stitch that you just pull tight. And then you would just go on to the next hole, pull it to create that loop, put it in, pull it down, lock it, go to the next hole, pull it down, push it through the loop, just like that, pull it in and lock it. And you could sit there and repair something in no time at all that way. And because this is basically an awl and a handle, you have an awl that if you didn't already have holes in there where you're repairing a piece of gear and you're making a new piece of gear, you could just as easily punch brand new holes in that leather as well, using that awl and just twisting it as you go to create a brand new piece of gear if that's what you had to do. And I think when Myers originally created this, and the original drawings that I saw that had that extra piece that plugged into the front to mark stitches on leather, I think that's kind of what he had in mind. But this is a great piece of kit to carry in any gear that you've got for repair on the fly. All right, guys, well, I'm Dave Canterbury of Self-Reliance Outfitters in the Pathfinder School. I appreciate you joining me today for this quick video on the C.A. Myers Stitch Awl. Again, you can find these pretty much new and in the box in their original form with the metal bobbin on lots of places like eBay, Etsy, and things like that. And you can buy them for not much more, if any more, than it would cost you to buy a brand new one off Amazon. I appreciate your views. I appreciate your support. I thank you for everything you do for our school, for our family, and for our business. All of our sponsors, instructors, affiliates, and friends. I'll be back with another video as soon as I can. Thanks, guys.